O great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, most beloved Lord divine, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, most beloved Lord of life, O ye powers that be, the air, the earth, fire, water, ether, O ye powers that be in all of the realms of existence, ancestors of our bloodlines, our adopted lines, our spiritual lines, our marriage lines, our friendship lines, ancestors of all of the karmic realms that we connect with. Namaste. O ye powers that be, we call upon thee at this moment to join us, to hear our petitions, to lift, to help us to lift, to ascend, to hear that which we need to hear, to see that which needs to be seen, that the way may be cleared. Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum. That the path may be smooth. Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum, Om Gum. O ye powers that be, send forth thy blessings upon us at this moment, that we might attune to thee and be lifted. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. Sit back and take a deep breath, a couple of deep breaths, and relax as we gather together to vivify our week, our moment, this moment. Once upon a yogi time, there was a young man. He was born into a very good family. He grew, And his name was Indra. You might have heard of Indra. Indra is the king in all the realms, the top kahuna, the top god, if you will. So Indra grew, and he saw Papa building things. He saw Grandpapa had built things. But around the time that he was 16, 17 years old, something happened to him. Thought came into the vicinity of his mind, and he noodled with it, and noodled with it, and noodled with it. And that thought grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And he went from being a very nice young man to being kind of a young man with avarice, with greed. For what was the thought? The thought was, I am going to be the greatest of them. I will be greater than my father. I will be greater than my neighbor. I will be greater than my friends. I will have the best and the biggest of everything. And everyone will admire me. Oh, in a very short time, Papa retires. It says here, the kingdom is yours. Time for me to go off and enjoy my relaxation. So Indra comes in as king. Now, when he comes in as king, what happens? He inherits Vishvakarmananda, or Vishvakarma, the great celestial architect. So, all of the years of all the greeds to be better, 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 to be admired, they come out. And so he has somebody to boss around, and he says, Vishvakarmananda, come. I want a new wing over here. I would like a flying buttress over there. I would like 15 swimming pools as you approach the palace. Everything his imagination had fed and thought and wanted all of these years, he kept Vishvakarmananda scurrying here and there and here and there. He wasn't very polite. He never said thank you. As soon as Vishvakarmananda would come and say, my lord, we finished with the West Wing. Well, I have something else for you. Would you like to even look at the West Wing? No. I'll get to it. I have something else. So this goes on day after day after day after day after day. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Vishvakarmananda is getting very tired. 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Vishvakarmananda has had it. Every single place you look, you stand at the top of the world, and every single place you look has been littered, cluttered, created things that Indra thought of with the magic of his mind and had Vishvakarmananda create. So Vishvakarmananda had talked to Indra several times, didn't do any good. So he said, this is it, I'm going up. He goes up. He knocks on the door of Lord Brahma's house. Lord Brahma, the creator. Come in. I see you've been very busy. You look a little tired. My lord, I'm exhausted. This Indra, he's crazy. Every thought that comes into his mind, he spews it out of his mouth. To me, he spews it to me. And he gives me this direction and that direction and that. I've been working night and day for 12 years. He's still not satisfied. I need your help. His father was not like this. His grandfather was not like this. Brahma. No worries, my son, no worries. Come with me. So, Vishvakarmananda and Lord Brahma, who is just a magnificent Lord, filled with light and gorgeousness and just gigantic presence. The sun radiated forth from his being. All of the colors radiated forth. Gorgeous, beautiful, regal, divine being. They marched down together to the realm of Indra. Now, did they knock on the door? No. All the drums were heard. The gongs were heard as they were coming. The harps were played as they were coming. The sound, oh. Indra got curious. Somebody's here to visit moi. And so he sends his chief down to open the gates of the palace to see who's come to visit. And in comes this royal parade of, oh, Vishvakarmananda, that's you. Who do you have with you? My Lord Brahma is with me. They enter the palace, the great room, one of the many great rooms in the palace. It was even grander than Versailles, if you can imagine that. More mirrored rooms, more and more and more rooms. Gold, gilt. It's quite the place. Brahma enters in, comes, and miraculously a chair appears for Brahma. And he sits before Indra does. Oh, Indra thinks, well, there's something wrong here. This isn't right. Nobody's supposed to sit before me. Who are you? Ah, who are you? It's for me. My name is Brahma. Why don't you have a seat? Who are you to tell me to have a seat in my palace? Mine, 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 mine. Yeah, I see. You've made this palace with the help of Vishvakarmananda. But I think, Indra, it's time to stop. Too much. You've gotten too much. You've gone way overboard. Who do you think you are to tell me I've gone way overboard? Well, you know, Indra, all of the Indras before you have tried to build palaces. All of the Indras before you have tried to be the best. All of the Indras before you, but none as extreme as you. They've all built beautiful places. And the Lord Indra sits back, the King Indra sits back. What do you mean, all of the Indras before me? What do you mean? There have not been other Indras before me. There was my father, my grandfather. Oh, You don't know your history. You don't know your history, Lord Indra. And as the gong strikes, a parade of ants begins to march into the room. First one, then two, then three, then they spread out, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, then 1,000,000, then 1,000,000,000, then 1,000,000,000,000. Then the entire floor is filled with ants. What is the meaning of this? Where do these ants come from? And Lord Brahma says, those are all of the Indras before you. All of the Indras before you who spent all of their time here in this realm, building palaces, collecting things, making other people work, imagining, so that they could be better than everyone else. Just like you. And now look, their kingdoms are gone, and they're on to another incarnation. Indra, leave Vishvakarmananda alone. Stop with your insanity. Dismantle this craziness that you have built. Turn inward. Save yourself now while you can. Turn inward. Ascend upward. You're going to leave this place soon, sooner than you think. Do not spend all of your time building castles in the air. Like that, Lord Brahma was gone. All of the other Indras were gone. And only there left was the current Indra and Vishvakarmananda. I'll let you imagine the rest of the story. For what did he do? Did he heed the warning that was given to him? Did he see that the karma had gotten so out of balance, that he was so focused on all of those things that he could bring into the world, that he didn't realize he should be letting go of things? Was he so focused on what he could do and what he could dream that he paid no attention to others? And was he so driven by the emotionality of his mind, his desire for approval, that he could not let go? You'll have to dream your answer to that story. But in many ways, small, large variations, the variations are 100-fold, 1,000-fold. We are all Lord Indras, creating in our lives, spending our lives running and ranting around and not really focusing. Now, I know that's probably not you, but perhaps it is you a little bit, petite amount. Maybe there's a part of your life that you have been so caught up with your responsibilities, with everything you feel that you have to do, that you don't have any time left in your day or your night for your spiritual path. Maybe it's time to change that. Now, the laws of karma are the laws of cause and effect. They open at specific times, specific places, in specific ways. Karma can be fulfilled symbolically or literally. But the karma must be fulfilled in the plane of existence in which it is created. Right? So I'm far better off to create my good karma, my positive, expansive karma, in the higher realms, in the dream realms, in the meditation realms, so that I can more easily soften them there. But what is that story really about? What does it have to do with karma? What does it have to do with you and the way that you're living your life, or me and the way I'm living my life? It is this. We must stop. Just stop and breathe. To turn inward, to say, oh, what should I be doing? What should I not be doing? For the karma rolls in. And if you have not been meditating, if you have not been paying attention to your life, you will be seized by the winds, seized by the waves, and get caught up in the whirlwind of the karma. Whether it is beautiful, positive, fulfilling karma, or it is more challenging, more difficult karma, it matters not. What matters is being able to see the direction through the karma, to have a method, a way to turn inward and say, oh yes, oh yes, my husband wanted to buy a 50-room house. No, we don't have 50 children or 50 relatives, but he wanted a 50-room house. And I had to spend the next 5 years of my life decorating that house. Or, oh, my husband wanted a new boat. I had to decorate that boat. Or I wanted a new library, and I had to fill that library. There is in Kriya a principle which is called the object of malice, or the malice of objects, the malice of objects, which says that every object has a vibration to it. Every object has a energy field to it. Every object draws and brings with it thought forms, and karma, if you will. If you walk down the street in the 30-degree below weather, in a cotton blouse and cotton pants and sandals, the karma is that your body's going to get very cold and likely to get very sick and likely to freeze. If you walk down the same street in the 100-degree weather in the middle of summer, or 110-degree weather in the middle of summer, and you have on that winter coat for the winter, you're going to have a problem. Your body will not live well in that condition. Hear that. Karma is the weather. Karma is the conditions. It's the weather. It is not a punishment. It is not God's will. It has nothing to do with God. And this is a problem if you come from a theological background, or have a theological background in which you are told that God is running your life, that everything is dependent upon God. Because in mysticism, you create the karma, you draw the karma. Now, can God help you? Can the forces that be help you? Can the powers that be help you? Can the angels and saints and devas and devis, whatever name you wish to call them, the beings of light? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it all begins with you turning and saying, I need some help here. I need some help here. My mind is a little bit chaotic. I need some help. Show me the right direction. Show me what to do. And then quieting the mind sufficiently, quieting, so that you can do something different. Meditation is not about getting things. Meditation is about getting rid of things. And really, it's about freeing oneself from the thought forms that have seized you, that have seized your mind. And you've had this. This fellow that I know, very, very nice gentleman, went out and bought, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I think it's a Porsche. It's a car that James Bond drove in the latest of his movies. So you'll know by that. And it's all covered up in his garage. Beautiful garage, clean as a whistle. It's all covered up. And so the family said, well, gosh, what is that? Oh, that's the car. That is the car. I saw that movie and I couldn't stop thinking about the car. And I had to have it. So I went out and bought it. Wow. Hey, do you think we could have a ride in it? Oh, no. No, I don't drive it. I certainly don't take people for rides in it. I've driven it twice since I had it. But I've got it. It's in my garage. I can look at it. I'll take the top off for you. You can see the cover. I'll take the cover off. You can see it. In a minute. After dinner. Wow. And I kind of tried to find a real polite way to say it. Golly, that must have been kind of an expensive car. It's worth it. It's worth it. Every time I make that monthly payment, I think I've got that. That's mine. I have that car. The same car as James Bond does. Wow. Now, hear me. That's a superb, supreme example of karma seizing one's mind. He saw the car and it was a symbol of something to him. He saw the car at a movie and it was a symbol. And he could not get that symbol out of his mind. He did not have a way to fulfill the desire that came with that, seeing that car, seeing it in a movie. And so he went and paid good money and is still paying good money. I don't know how many years it takes to pay off a car like that when you're making monthly payments, but paying for it, but not using it, not getting any. His pleasure is that he has it and he knows that he has it and he can go in the garage and occasionally take the cover off of it. Man, that's being seized by the karma. That's a powerful, powerful, powerful piece of karma that's come in and just locked him in. Taking his earth prana. He doesn't have the earth prana to spend on anything else. Now, remember here, the earth prana is not just the dollar bill or the euro. It is your energy, your life energy. His life energy was seized by the idea of the car. And then he allowed it to be seized even more by going out and purchasing the car, and even more by having to pay for it, and even more by not allowing himself the pleasure of driving it or even looking at it. It was covered in the garage. Now, what's the thought that's been seizing your mind? What's the thought that seizes your mind that prevents you from freedom, that prevents you from enlightenment, that prevents you from finding happiness in your life? And I said to the gentleman, I said, golly, Peter, are you happy now that you have it? Does it make you really happy? Do you feel like you thought you would? Kind of, sort of. I mean, I'm real happy I have it. I like looking at it. but I worry about it. I worry somebody's going to break in and steal it. I worry that I'm not going to be able to make the payments. And then he went on and on and on. So not only was he seized by it, he used his earth prana by it, and then he worries about it, taking more of his earth prana. Now step back and step up and step into your own life and say, where in your life at this moment have you been seized? What idea has taken up residence in your mind over and over and over again? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Is it good? Does it make a difference in your life? Or is it confining? Is it constricting you in some way so that you cannot see beyond the car? You cannot see beyond the thumb that blocks the sun. For each of us, it is a different emotion, it might be jealousy, it might be greed, it might be anger. For some people, it's something, there's a competitiveness that maybe it's you want to be the best, like Indra, the best pianist. You know, you could become the best musician, and that could be the thought that is seizing your mind. Are you finding joy in it? Are you finding joy in that? If the thought that's seizing your mind is bringing you joy and happiness and continual happiness, then that's a measure to see against. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm seized by the chanting. I'm seized by the meditation. Yes, I want to continue this. It's helpful. It's doing good. But if on the other hand it's confining, then, and when I say confining, do this. Close your eyes. Close your eyes for just a moment. And allow your mind to rest as a blank screen. Take 3 long, deep breaths. In your mind's eye, see an element of life, of your life, that is consuming your everyday thinking. How does it make you feel? Now, in the mirror of your mind, see that grow. What happens if it grows for 5 years? Now in your mind's eye, ask yourself if that thing is helpful or not. Is there a way that you can see that would be more helpful, more joyful, that you could let go? And the path would be clearer. And now let go of all of that. In your mind's eye at this moment, use a sipping breath. Sipping as through a straw, pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body to the spinal column, again with a sipping breath. From the base up to the sun center. Using that golden light, move it out in front of you and sweep around to the left, behind you, to the right, encasing your entire being in that golden light. And do this 2 more times. And now ascend upward as high as you are able. Ascending above the room. Ascend up to the high realms. As you ascend to the high realms, you see in front of you a path, a brilliantly lit path. It leads you through a field towards a mountain. Ascend up the mountain, walking in the forest. As you reach halfway up the mountain, there's a clearing. You see a sacred shrine here. Filled with light, surrounded by all of the powers that be, all of those helpers in all realms of existence are here, awaiting you in the courtyard, awaiting you in the shrine. The shrine contains the waterfall of karma neutralization, of karma healing, of healing at all levels of your being. As you breathe in the air, you feel peace, contentment, santosha. Walk into the light-filled entrance. Walk to the back of the shrine where you see the pool of light and the waterfall of light. Enter into this pool of light. Allow everything to dissolve away. Stand under the waterfall. Feel the light pouring down upon your crown center. The heavy karma is dropping away, dissolving away. The light pouring down upon every cell of your being, through every cell of your being. Feel the heavy karmas dropping away, loosening, washing away, dissolving into the light. Let go. Let the tendrils release. Breathe deeply. Breathe in the light. Walk forth from the waterfall. As you walk through the pool of light, feel your being filled with light. Of all of the colors that you need, your being is filled. Vivified and refreshed, you leave the shrine. And you ascend further to the high hall of meditation. And here you join in a circle of meditators. In your mind's eye, focus your attention at your sun center and see the light. From here, we will join together to share our meditative energies, to radiate blessings forth to all of those who are in need. To all of those beings who are entering the earth plane, that their way be smoothed. As we chant Om Shanti, 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 Feel the light radiating forth from your crown center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those who are leaving or trying to leave the earth plane, entering into the other realms. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For those people, those beings upon the earth who are experiencing loneliness and sadness, confusion and isolation, may they be blessed. May their burdens be lifted. O ye powers that be, pour forth thy blessings now. We ask you to lift, 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 pour forth thy blessings to all of those who are in need. Lift their sadness, their loneliness, their isolation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those souls who are blinded by greed, whose actions are hurtful to others because of their greed, may they see clearly. May they transform their lives to be of service. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, bless all of those who are angry, who are fighting, who are fear-filled. Lift, ascend, bless them, that that anger may dissolve away, that that fear may dissolve away, that they may transform that energy into something that is useful, that is helpful to themselves and to all life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, pour forth thy blessing upon all of those who are feeling the lack of love, who are seeking approval, who are wishing approval from others. May they know that they are good enough. May they know that they are good, that they are a part of life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, bless all of us, that we might communicate more clearly, that we might see more clearly, that we might communicate to life, and that we might hear you, life, Lord, communicating with us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. for all in need, that their needs may be lifted, that their needs may be fulfilled as they wish most harmoniously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bringing your attention back, return to your place of meditation. We have done that which we came to do. This week, look at your life. See what needs to be let go of. First, we have to let go before we can draw in. What do you need to let go of to make space for joy, for happiness, for wisdom, for compassion, for nonviolence? The three jewels above the head of God: wisdom, compassion, and nonviolence. The first of these is wisdom. Draw it forth into your life and know what needs to be let go so that that wisdom might flow more swiftly to you.